Hi guys, welcome back to another Matchbox Garage video. I'm Rob and today I shall be attempting to take this Volkswagen from shabby to shiny. Now this one, it does just read underneath Volkswagen, but of course the Volkswagen Beetle, one of the most iconic cars of all time, and it is beautiful. I've done a couple of Beetles but not this model. This is one of the older ones, and to be honest I bought it recently, and I had the Citroen DS, which was my last video, and I had this one and I was toying between just straight up restoration or mild custom, and I'm sure you are already a subscriber to Marty's Matchbox Makeovers, and he just done a beautiful restoration one of these, and it kind of made my mind up to do just a light custom on this one today. So I'll put a link in the description if you haven't seen his video already, but otherwise enjoy this one, and with 2,000 likes it could be yours. But yeah, we'll start by drilling down the centre of the post, and there is just one on this car. Remove that flange and tap that hole. Please do remember to lubricate the end of your piece. You do not want to snap it. But here is the little Beetle. One of my favourite films growing up was the Herbie films, and I've not done a Herbie custom today, just a very mild custom. You know, I wanted to make sure that it could go back if ever needed. But yeah, it does read underneath Volkswagen, made in England by Lesney. And this is number 25. So as you can see, I've already pre-drilled and pre-tapped this one. I think the window section here has just dropped a little bit, or perhaps it never sat properly from the factory, but we'll rectify that today. And look at that lovely bit of detail. Now what is that? Is that the bonnet or is that the boot? Obviously being a rear engine car, designed by Ferdinand Porsche, if I remember rightly, on the instruction of Adolf Hitler. But yeah, to build a car for the people, and I think it's been going for over 50 years, this design. But here we are, the little boot lid there, or bonnet lid falling off. And there's a better view of that engine detail. Unusual for the castings of this era, you know, compared to some of the others that I've got. Yeah, there's the little boot lid there. I'll try and make sure I don't flush that down the sink later on. And there is a small flange or rolled over post there that I'll need to remove this window section. There is a tiny little scratch or crack in this window section, so unfortunately it's never going to be perfect, and I think that's kind of, you know, that added towards my reasoning or want or need to actually just do a very light custom on this one today. I think the later castings are a little bit better looking. This one's a little bit awkward, especially around the front, around the headlights. But there we are. Comes off all in one kind of piece. But yeah, it's now that I'm starting to see. I think you may just about notice there's a tiny little crack in the front of that windscreen there. I will be replacing the wheels today. Now these wheels are in very good condition, and certainly I won't be throwing them away. I'll keep them together, and if ever I wanted to, I could always replace them. But here's the little tack life, and what I'll do is I'll just remove the kind of rolled over edge on this axle. And there we have it. But yeah, I'll keep these wheels and axles together. You never know, if this does reach the 2,000 likes, I'll supply these wheels, and perhaps if you wanted yourself to restore it or re-restore it, then you can always do so. But the window section there, just getting a little bit of a clean, and we're making sure that we've got these bits in here into the footlong. And yeah, taped up these wheels and axles, and I'll put those in the spare parts, perhaps to be used one day. But we'll cover it in the boiling water, and then in comes a tablespoon of caustic soda. And using my brand new gloves, trying out my left hand. My left hand is a bit useless, to be honest, but try not to drop this this jar. See if we can see any of the reaction there. And being one of these older castings, they do well, they don't take much time at all, to be honest, in the caustic solution. Probably 5 or 10 minutes max. That's all it needs. And you can already see there, just to the left, that paint starting to come away, starting to flap around in that moving water. So yeah, we'll just leave it there for all those harmful gases to escape out the window. And whilst that's doing its thing, this windscreen didn't come out too bad, just with a little bit of water. But we're going to be using the plastic polish here. See whether we bring back some real shine to this. Perhaps even get it more shiny than the day that it was created. I like to go over these window sections a couple of times. It's almost like the first pass takes away probably 90%. The second pass maybe another 5%, and then thereafter just a little 1% at a time. But I think just making those extra efforts, that's what splits us apart, I think. I do always try with the best of my ability to make these little cars as best as I can, but also with each video try and do little differences, little changes, keep it fresh, keep it interesting. But yeah, after polishing it here, little rub over with a cloth, and I do this again off camera, but otherwise I think that's looking pretty good. Now paint wise, like I say, this is going to be a light custom, and by that I mean I'm going to mix up the original paint, you can see I'm using the Viejo Premium range. These are metallics. And by eye, by memory, that is the original colour. And it's a beautiful colour. But I don't want to kind of get people confused or mix it up. So I'm just going to put a little hint of something different just to add to the original. So the original paint is there. It's just got a little bit of extra yellow in it, that's all. And it just takes it kind of takes it away from the blue, just that little touch, puts a little bit of a green touch to it, and I think it's a beautiful colour. But yeah, looking at the foot long here, as you can see, it's been probably, I want to say 10 minutes max. Still very hot to the touch, this water, but that paint just coming off in sheets. And yeah, she flushes well. Thankfully, I remembered and made sure I didn't lose this little boot lid. That would have been annoying. But yeah, looking at the base here, perhaps not 100%, but again, I think we're around about a 99.2% removal on the base and also the main casting. So very happy today. But just cleaning up my little workstation here. Bring out the tack life and one of these steel wire attachments. I find these kind of, I guess what would you say, they're an umbrella shape. They're the most aggressive, which is sometimes needed, but in order to use these and take away a little bit of that aggression, if you just hold it to the side, basically like this. And then sometimes what I do is, you know, I'll use like the ends of it, but then I'll use like the almost the face of it to polish it up afterwards. And there's half of the base. Look at that. So shiny, it's blinding. Do the same to the roof section here of the Beetle. And the Beetle is actually, you know, one of the cars that has escaped my 70 plus car ownership. I nearly bought one. It was a black, I think it was a 1970, it was a 70s model, and it had an MG 1.3 turbo engine in it. And it was beautiful. If I remember rightly, this would have been 15 years ago. And I had a certain amount of money. I think if I remember rightly, I was looking at two cars. They were both up for the same price, but I just had a couple of £100 less. And I went to see this Beetle, and he just wouldn't have any of it. So I went elsewhere, and I bought a Rover Coupe Turbo, which was still very nice, but hey, not the same now if I had the chance again. But yeah, this is the, look at that. Detailing that engine is unbelievable. I'm going to detail that out today. Just a little bit. Put a little bit of colour in there. Yeah, the little boot lid here. So making sure that I'm taking off any kind of crust or grime. And yeah, I was getting a little bit concerned. I love this primer. In black, I think it's the best thing that I have. But like a lot of things, a lot of the paints that I've really enjoy using, I was coming towards the end of my little stash, and yeah, I better turn that on. I'd like to keep my lungs, but yeah, I'd like, you know, with all these closed downs, my usual cellar was closed down, and I couldn't get hold of this paint. I was coming towards the end of it, fearing that, you know, maybe I'll have to use something else that's going to be substandard. But yeah, I found a place over in Belgium, a shop over in Belgium that was open, and yeah, I got them to send me over 4 cans, so that'll keep me going through this apocalypse. But it looks beautiful in black, but there we are, that's how it dries. And this will now take this one-off mix paint, the original colour, just with a little extra yellow. You know, just enough to just take it off a little bit. And going over this black primer, so surprised every time how well this light metallic just takes to this black primer. You know, you could probably get away with just a single coat. I'll go with a couple of coats, but that's all that's needed. You know, I use such a small amount of paint using this method. and these metallic paints will last me a lifetime, I think, almost. There we are, there's the first coat, looking beautiful. I do go with a second coat and some clear. But it is the following day. We got the window section there. Like I say, I did polish it out another time. And there's the base. And this little set of green light Volkswagen wheels, I think they really suit this little car. And like I say, a few little details around the engine area there. You know, they're very small, so using a toothpick to try and pull all those out. And here we are, this just beautiful green with a layer of clear coat, looking shiny. And I'll add some further details. And if anyone could guess where I got this interior from, well, you get 1,000 internet points. But here's a little interior I thought I might as well throw in there, detailed out the little fella. But yeah, here's a little reminder of what she looked like. And then this is the result. So as you can see, those wheels, I think are period correct. If I remember rightly, they're called, are they fuchsia wheels, something like that. But perfect sizing. It rolls well. Coming around the back, chrome on that rear bumper, of course, and some red in those rear lights. I love the reflection on this one, really shiny. But now you can actually see through the windows, and that little fella in there, I think his name's John. And I think he loves his little Volkswagen Beetle. Coming around the front, just some chrome on that front bumper. And in those headlights. And I think it's just a nice little subtle custom. Not over the top, just perfect. Remember, with 2,000 likes, it could be yours. But anyway. Massive thanks to my patrons, including very brand new patron, Joel Schunborn. I think that's how it's pronounced. But anyway, thanks, mate. And thanks again to you guys. Hopefully you liked it. And I'll see you soon on the next.